In this episode, I'll be talking about GoodRx. Hi, I'm Mishak, and welcome back to another episode of The Bemused, where we talk about all things personal finance for young adults just like you and me. Now, I'm sure most of us have seen the commercials for GoodRx all over the place, and you might be wondering, well, what is it? GoodRx is not insurance like some people might think it is. It is essentially just a couponing service for prescriptions and other medications. It is completely free. There's no cost, there's no sign-ups, there's no anything like that, annoying emails or anything, at least to my knowledge. So how do you use GoodRx? You can either go to goodrx.com or through the app. You put in your location. Once you put in your location, or if you're using your phone, it'll detect where you are. You'll then enter in the type of drug that you need, whether it be ibuprofen or something that your physician has prescribed. You enter if you'd like generic or if you'd like name brand drugs. Then you'd enter in the denominations that you need based on the prescription that your physician has written out for you. And then it'll give you a calculated price on the nearby pharmacies in your area that you can get those prescriptions from. So in the example that you're seeing on your screen for ibuprofen, Walmart is the cheapest. So I clicked on that, and then it'll give you a promo code. You then take that over to the registration desk or counter at the pharmacy. They punch in that code, and then they give you the price of what the prescription will be. Usually if the denominations are not the same based on what you might have been prescribed by your physician, such as if your physician gave you 10 pills, in this case of ibuprofen, and GoodRx didn't have a generic brand pill that had the coupon for 10, and it had it for 15 or it had it for 5, they would then, if it was 5, they would do 5 twice, and whatever that price might be according to GoodRx's coupon website, that's how much you would pay times 2, or if they have to make it any sort of adjustments, the pharmacist can usually do that for you at no additional cost. You wait for your drugs, and you pay your cash, and you get your drugs. GoodRx is accepted at about 90% of pharmacies, and the pharmacies that do accept GoodRx must accept it. Although they do not understand, some of them, how to use it, try and explain it to them the best way that you can, but they do have to accept it, and they have some clause and different things like that on their website that you might want to read and possibly refer to them if they have any questions. So you might be wondering, why would I use GoodRx if I have insurance? So a personal story for me is I went to the pharmacy, my local CVS, to fill a prescription that I needed just for a one-time thing. Don't usually fill prescriptions often. The doctor, the physician that filled the prescription or wrote the prescription for me did not specify generic or name brand, anything like that. That was entirely up to me. When I went to the pharmacy that I normally go to in my neighborhood, I handed them my insurance card, and when they ran whatever it is that they ran, it was coming up to about $125 for the prescription that I needed. And I needed about 14 tablets for what I needed. And I initially, I was like, hey, this is ridiculous, this is crazy. I'm not gonna pay $125 for a prescription that I'm only gonna need, this one time. I thought that was a little pricey. When I called the insurance company to find out what was going on, because I was honestly baffled. I had never paid that much money for a prescription in my life thus far. And what I was told was that the category of drugs, and this will be different insurance company to insurance company, but with my insurance company, the category of drugs that I was trying to purchase was in the top tier. So therefore, there was a deductible that I needed to meet, plus paying whatever out of pocket that the insurance would not cover. So what that means is that I was paying $125. The copay or the deductible that I had to meet was $25, and then the insurance company was paying the other half. So they were putting $100, but I had to put $100 out of pocket for myself. If I went down to the generic brand drugs instead of the name brand, it wasn't too much of a price difference. So again, I thought, well, I wasn't going to do that. It didn't make sense. So I stepped off the line. I remembered GoodRx in my head. Didn't really know what it was about, but I kind of went off on a limb right there in the pharmacy. Took out my phone, went to goodrx.com, extremely simple. I put in the name of the drug that I was looking for. I put in my address, well, not my address, my zip code, and boom, the same pharmacy that I was in came up on the list, which instead of paying $125, I paid $75, somewhere around there in the 70s. So that was a huge price difference. And I did happen to go with the name brand drugs as well. So that was, as you can imagine, a huge differential to pay. Now the risks of using GoodRx. Although I spent less money in the short term, something that you also need to be mindful of is that if this was a reoccurring prescription that I might have needed long term, it honestly would have made more sense for me to pay what the insurance company was charging me for the prescription, which was the $125 out of pocket that time, because after that, don't quote me on it, but I believe that after meeting that deductible, paying that 50% upfront, that they would have covered the prescription, I believe 75 or 80%. So my out-of-pocket costs moving forward, if I needed to continuously fill that prescription, would have been a lot less over time in the long run. But because I knew that it was something that I was only going to need for a one-time thing, and thank God I only needed it for one time, that it made a whole lot more sense for me to go with GoodRx and to spend less that time as opposed to spending more. So what I'm really trying to say is you really want to speak to your insurance company and find out those little details so you can make an informed decision. So in my opinion, GoodRx was a complete lifesaver. It saved me over $50. I didn't have to sign up for anything. There's no one sending me any sort of promotional email, nothing like that. You literally just go onto the website, you look for what you need, you present it. So if you have any comments or previous experience with GoodRx, whether it be a positive or negative experience, leave it in the comments down below. I'll also leave the link to GoodRx and other information pertaining to it down below. If you have any questions or just general comments, leave them down below and I'll be glad to have a conversation with you about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.